This AFC South Preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by MyBookie.ag. Right now, MyBookie is offering up to $200 in free bets using the promo code SGP200. That's right, up to $200 in free bets with only a one-time rollover requirement. Use SGP200 to play, win, and get paid at MyBookie.ag. We're also brought to you by PlayBalto, the #1 office pool hosting site. PlayBalto is fully customizable, easy to manage, and most importantly, free. If you're running a football pool this season, make your life easy and do it on PlayBalto. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com, click the PlayBalto link to sign up today. We're also brought to you by the CBS Sports app. Just open the CBS Sports app and watch anytime, anywhere on your phone or at your home on your Apple TV, Roku, or Fire TV. Couldn't be easier. Download the CBS Sports app and watch CBS Sports HQ today. Last but not least, we're also brought to you by Sean and Colby. Sean and Colby are taking their stand-up comedy up the coast of California, August 22nd in San Francisco, August 23rd in Santa Cruz, and August 24th in Eureka, California. Go to SeanTGreen.com for more info. Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking that money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
It's my favorite time of the year, Sean.
What time is that?
Time to talk about the AFC South.
What's so appealing about the AFC South?
It was my long love affair of the Houston
that's
Texans.
right.
It was your love affair of Andrew Luck before Carson Wentz came into the picture. It was just
when the Eagles were stuck with Sam Bradford is not a fucking franchise quarterback.
Can you even really remember the days back before you had Carson Wentz in your life?
It's
and
tough.
You were into the
I do remember.
The original caveman.
I was
moving rocks.
I was into Nick Foles 1.0, and then fucking Chip Kelly decided to ruin everything, trade him for Sam Bradford, who I hated to begin with, and that was one of the more difficult parts of my life. The era where I had to defend Sam Bradford or make some attempt to pretend like I didn't know Sam Bradford was a huge piece of shit. This is how bad Sam Bradford was. He was a quarterback of the Eagles, starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Never even occurred to me. The thought never crossed my mind to even consider buying his jersey. That's how bad he was.
He always did come off
I had a Kevin
soft.
Cobb jersey.
He came off soft. That's if I'll remember one thing about Sam Bradford is that he just came off soft. His face looks soft. His skin tone looks soft. His hair looks soft.
And I mentioned Big Dick Nick, a.k.a. Nick Foles. Calais Campbell already saying that Nick Foles, natural leader. And that's what...
Is that code? Are we reading between the lines here?
Yeah, if you're Calais Campbell, you're a 290-pound giant black guy, defensive line, and you say someone's a natural leader, we know that's code for has a huge hog.
Well, and
isn't afraid to command the line of scrimmage.
We did call this out as a potential reason why you might, if say you liked the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes,
this is probably one of the reasons you like them. You thought that a man, and we're gonna get to this, but a man with a giant dong is what it takes to get.
Sorry, I
to bring a team
This is clearly
together.
the drop we should be using.
Long cocks.
All day, baby. All day.
Oh, man. So much to get to on this podcast, but so much information. There's just so much going on in the SGP DGen Nation world. What do we first off, in our how-to guides that we've been putting out over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, how to bet against the spread. What is the spread? You probably already know if you're listening to this podcast, but there's some newbies out there. Maybe this is the first time. Ryan, right now we could have a first-time listener. They were cruising iTunes. They saw, holy shit, 500 5-star reviews. I got to listen to this podcast. Secretly, I don't know what point spread betting is. We got you covered. How to bet with Bitcoin, that is up there because a lot of people.
It's
I
like
always talk
level
about
4,000, right?
Yeah, I always talk about why you should bet with Bitcoin and how easy it is, especially over at MyBookie. I think they even have special deposit bonuses if you're depositing with Bitcoin, withdrawing with Bitcoin. It's just way easier. So highly recommend that. some events coming up.
Oh, my goodness. Fucking listening to Kiss FM right now.
We're going to pay your bills. I'm Ryan Seacrest.
What a fucking dickhead move. Pay my bills.
Pay my
really?
bills.
You want to take care of that TV note I got, Ryan? Thanks a lot.
This is the craziest thing is the amount of
Turn
cash.
this music on. Ryan Seacrest doesn't get this.
The amount of cash we've given out is more than Kiss FM has. And they're a national They're a nationally syndicated radio show. The Ryan's Roses. Oh, you gave the roses to the wrong person.
Wait a second. He's going to fall for it. Donna. Oh, who's Donna?
Wow, you blew it. Meanwhile, the whole thing
God
is
damn, dude.
not to pull back the curtain.
If only we could be so creative.
Not to pull back the curtain, Ryan, but the whole thing is
what would our Ryan's Roses look like?
You got to give the roses to some eligible QB bachelors like Blake Bortles.
No, that's what it is. We would catch people on the down low betting on guys like Blake Bortles.
Yes.
Betting on guys we tell you all the time. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, those guys, they're just haters. I like Mariota this week. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't cheat on the good teams with these shitty. The AFC South, and you can tell by the win total, it is all bunched together. So it's one of those divisions where a strong opinion will certainly help you kind of separate things here. But my intro music, to get back to it, Legacy Stadium, September 5th, NFL kickoff. If you're going to be in beautiful Las Vegas for NFL Week 1, I don't know where else you would be. Thursday night, come by Legacy Stadium. We will be doing a pregame Periscope from the Legacy radio studio. That's right. Emeril Lagasse has his own radio studio and sportsbook. We're going to knock it up a notch to notches unknown. Check us out there. If you guys want to come hang, food and drink on us, just RSVP by dropping us a line. Podcast at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Podcast at sportsgamblingpodcast.com.
Some big names confirmed.
Oh, really?
Oh, I think so, right?
Well, one, Dick Olson.
Dick Olson,
yes,
will be in the house.
Sounds like Cousin Mush.
Cousin Mush will be in the house. Is the database? Have we confirmed?
He is elusive. We have not been able to confirm.
Goodness. Nick Velvet, maybe.
Nick Velvet will definitely be there.
Christian Pina
making an appearance. The whole gang.
Wow.
Getting the group out there. It'll be a lot of fun.
Justin Decker, maybe?
Decker? Yeah.
San Diego.
Superchargers, charge.
I had to send a text message to Decker. I go, hey, I don't know if you heard the latest episode, but you're in the theme song now.
How do you take the news?
He's excited.
We'll have to ask
him talking about the Chargers.
We'll have to ask him.
He will be coming on next week, I think, sometime, breaking down the AFC West. We wanted to push back the AFC West to see where this whole Antonio Brown drama ends up.
A little bit extra Hard Knocks won't be
no one's going to complain. That John Gruden Hard Knocks poster I'm in love with. If I had room in my house right now for an extra giant frame poster, it would just be John Gruden Hard Knocks poster.
I'll tell you this, confession. And I kind of already said this, but I did enjoy his whole we're not trying to win a Peach Bowl, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. I did. There's a
lot of dreams, but I got some nightmares.
There's something romantic about his clichéness. It's beautiful.
He's a football guy.
He really is a real life caricature. He is. I mean, again, I've made the comparison to John Madden before.
Yeah,
but would it surprise you if John Gruden is cruising around?
John Gruden football?
He's cruising around an Outback fucking Mobile, eating blooming onions.
I could see John Gruden getting afraid of getting on a plane.
It all makes
That was
sense.
one of my favorite Onion headlines of all time. It said, a study shows planes equally afraid of John Madden. And it's just a zoomed-in photo of John Madden's giant eyebrows.
Yeah. Some people don't age well, Sean.
You know what's timeless, Ryan? A great online sportsbook like mybookie.ag. This content bonanza. All these articles. I mean, Jesus Christ. We got legit writers on this thing. And we pay them. Unlike Fanside and some of these other dog shit sites. NFL preseason week 1 takeaways. Daniel Jones hype train. Pina already breaking it down. Bundesliga season 2019 futures. It's got some weird soccer shit. BMW Championship DraftKings picks. We already got an early look ahead on some week 1 DFS. All this content courtesy of MyBookie.ag, the presenting sponsors of the podcast, the coal that keeps the content train rolling. We don't ask for much here on the podcast. Just 5-star reviews, buy the merch, and support the sponsors where it makes sense. And MyBookie makes sense. You head over to MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid, deposit, withdrawal, cryptocurrency. It is a match made in heaven. And when you do that, make sure you get that little extra bonus using the promo code SGP200. Wow, I'm on
hot,
fire
Sean.
with
Coming
my
in
reads.
hot.
Well, not to pull back the curtain too much, but this is the second podcast of the day. This is August. Unlike the NFL, where the Pussy Players Association stepped in and had to take away 2-a-days. The Sports Gambling Podcast, we're doing 2-a-days. This is the second podcast we've recorded today. We had our early afternoon podcast with super secret special guest, Mike Leach. That will be dropping this weekend, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's talk AFC South, Houston Texans. As we're recording this, there is news. There are possibly almost breaking news that Jadeveon Clowney trade is about to go down to the Miami Dolphins, a team that
I almost did my own drop, but what the fuck?
A team that I think I've mentioned a number of times. Love the over on the Dolphins. It was set comically low at 4.5. We haven't got to the AFC East, but hopefully it's still at 4.5, so I can pick it for my lock, because that team is just not that horrible. Josh Rosen's already looked pretty decent in the preseason. You throw Jadeveon Clowney on that team, and they're just not going to be horrible.
It's an interesting pickup for sure.
Well, and that's if it goes through. But the Clowney trades have been circling for a while. Bill O'Brien seemingly drunk on power. They got rid of the general manager. They had a bit of a power struggle. Bill O'Brien survived. They do not have a general manager right now. So he traded for Duke Johnson, with apparently no one else signing off.
4th round pick. Weren't they just going to cut Duke Johnson?
Who? The Browns?
Yeah.
It seemed like he was on the outs. Very interesting. It feels like a pretty big overpay.
It's like the basics of negotiation, like leverage, right? It just once again reminds you that the intelligence in the NFL is
Bill O'Brien.
Low bar.
Bill O'Brien. He's already cashed out. He's already gone to the ATM a couple times. He's at the cashier window with the phone up, talking cash advance.
He is.
He is a desperate man. And it's weird because I was looking at Bill O'Brien. He's always, to me, felt like a shitty coach. But then you look at his record, 42-38.
It's not bad.
4 out of 5 winning seasons. His only losing season was 2017 when Deshaun Watson went down. It's not like Pat Shurmur, clear loser. Bill O'Brien
also got Christian Hackenberg drafted.
Yeah, that's really his claim to fame. He's really hung around, but it seems like every time it's disappointing. Like they were 11-5, and they felt extremely fraudulent at 11-5.
They were fraudulent.
You look at their wins, right? They had 2 overtime wins where there was a Frank Reich, who is a pretty good coach, fucked up. And then Jason Garrett, who's a horrible head coach, he fucked up with positions. With field position, with strategy. So they got a couple easy wins, and they felt like a super fraudulent team.
Well, they also had the 29th hardest schedule according to DVOA. So
that's interesting because there's 2 ways you can cut that. First off, they're 11-5. I think was fraudulent. They proved it was fraudulent by getting their ass kicked by the Colts in the playoffs. They faced that defense. And now they're not going to have Jadeveon Clowney, apparently. They faced a really easy schedule when it came to the quarterbacks they faced. These are just some of the quarterbacks they faced. Brock Osweiler.
Yep.
Blaine Gabbert.
Nice.
Blake Bortles.
Ooh.
Cody Kessler.
Oh, my.
Colt McCoy. Nathan Peterman. And Super Bowl MVP Eli Manning. So there was clearly Warren Sharp made a case that they faced the easiest quarterback schedule of all time. Right. and that's worth noting as well. That's possibly a fluke
No,
loss.
they had, like I was saying, they had a very easy schedule.
They did.
And I think, before the win total came out, before the season, as soon as the season ended, the Texans were a team you're going to circle for regression here.
Yeah.
I think you kind of started attacking it. Like Bill O'Brien, maybe he's had decent winning numbers, win column numbers, but I'm not sure he's a good coach. And
yeah,
I'm not
it's
sure.
Weird. And
I'm not sure Deshaun Watson keeps bailing him out. And
Yeah.
we're already seeing, Kiki QT, should be back for the regular season. But we watched in the preseason already. I really enjoy when Warren Sharp clowns on teams like the Texans.
He said, Warren Sharp said, quote, "Frankly, the Texans are on the unintelligent side of play calling." Oh, shit. But
right? Get in the locker, Bill. Roll reversal.
But there's a big flaw in this Houston Texans team that got exposed last year, and that was their offensive line. They let up 62 sacks. Some of it you could make the case was on Deshaun Watson for holding the ball too long. But I think you could also make a case for every one of those sacks that he got for holding on to the ball too long. He probably bailed him out of some by evading defenders, right?
The stat nerds will tell you that the quarterback has more influence on him getting sacked than the offensive line.
Yeah, but also not a great offensive line. You could tell by their running game. Some of that is they just don't have a good running back. I do think Duke Johnson is an upgrade from Alfred Blue. How much of an upgrade?
False
That's yet
gold.
to be.
It helps to have a good pass catching back. I do think it's fool's gold.
He's
I think
more-
Deshaun Watson wants nothing to do with he's looking deep every play.
Yeah.
That's part of what gets him blown up. That's part of what makes him exciting to watch. It also makes for very high variance, right?
Yeah.
Like, because
Boom or bust.
to me, it's a coin flip probably. Deshaun Watson misses a game is a -1, over under 1.5 games. Like,
Well, that story of him not being able to take the team plane and him having to take a bus to the game in Florida from Houston
fucking
because
gamer,
of
though.
his lung was jacked up so bad that he couldn't fly. They were worried about the pressure. That to me is a real thing. Like
Yeah.
I've been following the NFL for a very long time. Never heard of the thing. They wanted Andre Dillard, again, Washington State Cougar.
Could have used him.
Coach Leach prospect. The Eagles snaked him right from underneath their hands. So to me, I just look as a team that they're gonna regress. I think they kind of pulled a couple games out of their ass. They're not gonna have those same games. They still have some talent on defense. And at the end of the day, as much as that is a cliche phrase, we are doing sports talk. You have to crowbar a couple of those in. At the end of the day, DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson, that's a nice combo.
Yeah.
And that's going to open some shit up. And they're going to make some plays. They're going to be in some games.
That's gonna open some shit up.
Let's what else do you got, Kramer? Anything else? Or are we just hopping into the schedule?
Well, was going to point out that I think when you have the combination of maybe mediocre coaching mixed with a number of regression indicators, close wins, cake schedule, would they win? How many did they win in a row? Did they win 9 games in a row?
They were 1-5, and
Does that
then
sound
they
right? I think they won 9 games.
They
in
were
a row.
1-5, and then went 9-1.
Guess what? This is not a team that wins 9 games in a row. Maybe next year.
No, sorry. I was thinking of the Colts.
Maybe next year that's they win 7 but lose 2. That even brings them down to 9. Then you sprinkle in the fact that they have a very difficult schedule, or at least projected schedule coming up. And yeah, I think for as much as I used to love the Houston Texans, they are way more exciting now. Deshaun Watson, very exciting player, but it feels very empty around him. And I don't understand if they were to trade Jadeveon Clowney. I'm not sure I get that. Feels like they're in the win now stage of having the rookie quarterback. So,
yeah, but I don't get the Clowney trade at all. Is he demanding a new contract? Just ride out this contract with
player empowerment, bro.
Is he demanding a trade? Is that what it is?
I think he wants to get.
He wants to
not play under the franchise like many NFL players. And let's go through the schedule because it's pretty brutal, and I think you're going to find yourself having a hard time getting to a path of what was their over? What was their total? 8.5?
Oh yeah, I didn't announce. So
I
they're
didn't think you did
8.5 on the win total. Over 105, plus 105. Under minus 135.
Makes sense.
Division plus 350. Conference plus 2,000. Super Bowl 3,300. I don't like this team. They feel mediocre, but
High variance, though.
yeah, I mean that
Makes them interesting in the
that
futures
Super
market.
Bowl thing. You could do worse than that. But we'll get to that. We'll get to a team I possibly.
So they are
like
the
to win.
early. They are the early game opening weekend, Monday night at New Orleans. Not a tough spot. Jacksonville at home.
Well, and not to interrupt the schedule here,
exactly
but the
what you're
Saints
doing.
have. Well, you thought the same thing when the Bucs played the Saints week 1. The Saints historically a good team, but they've struggled early.
True.
I can't figure it
True.
out. Maybe Sean Payton doesn't have like a nice dip callus going in his lip yet.
They ain't losing to the Texans week. I mean, relax. Jacksonville at Chargers. Carolina at home. To me, like they gotta at least get 2 here, or things are gonna be tough. I don't think any of these games are gonna be cakewalks. I can't imagine they're favored by. They're laying by 3. I'm gonna go 2-2.
Yeah, I'll go 2-2. I think they. I don't know. I think if they went 1-3 here, I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting to.
I'll say in 2-2. You know what? I'll go. I'll go 2-2 because I don't want to give the Panthers a win. But
I'll say this: if you want to throw out some teams that could be a surprising dumpster fire,
yeah,
like 5-6 win territory, I feel like the Texans might get in that radar. Atlanta at Kansas City, at Indy,
and
Oakland at home.
And maybe Bill O'Brien, first head coach to be fired. I'm sure it's crazy odds because you probably have to have a general manager to somehow be involved in the firing. And he clearly won the power struggle, so he must have some juice with the owner.
Yeah, must.
But if this starts out like 1-4, 1-5,
don't underestimate that whole like he's wearing 2 hats business. Like he's definitely distracted. And if he's already a mediocre head coach to start with, a mediocre head coach with more responsibility, that's one of those things where I'm not sure every sports talk radio show is going that deep. Multi-dimensional here. What are you doing for those next 4? Atlanta at Kansas City, at Indy, Oakland. I think that they lose. I think they lose one of these home games early.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go. I don't know if it's going to be in the first 4 or the second 4, but this 4 I'll say it's in there 1-3 for me.
I'm exactly the same spot. I think they could be 3-5 sitting. I can see it now. 3-5, season's over. They kind of put it together to kind of get maybe to 500, and Bill O'Brien just gets one more year.
At Jacksonville, really, it's in
London though, where they have a home field advantage.
Nick Foles ain't losing in London, right? Jacksonville ain't losing in.
Big Ben meets Big Dick Nick.
Bye week at Baltimore off the bye. Wow, they're not getting any favors. Then they get Indy on a short week at home, and then the Patriots. They're losing one of those home games.
Yeah, but I think that Jags London game is going to be tough.
1-3.
I'll go 2-2 here.
This might be my hot take of the division. Denver. Denver at Tennessee, at Tampa Bay, Tennessee. This is that little stretch where it's like they get hot. They maybe go 4-0, probably more like 3-1. I think obviously we're higher on Tampa. I'm not that's going to be a tricky game. Dare I say do I go 3-1?
Yeah, I'll go 3-1 with you.
Are they really going to – they're not going to sweep Tennessee, right? Tennessee's going to get one.
Yeah.
2-2.
I'll go 3-1.
Sean, you have them going 8-8.
Yep, exactly. And that feels good. Like, as boring as it is to take a team to go 8-8, it just feels right.
Man, the number's right, Sean. The number's right.
No, but I'm saying, I got him 8-8, but that 8-8 feels good. Like I'm not worried about a possible ceiling. But you're real under, Ryan, at 6-10. Jesus Christ.
I told you I thought this might be my hot take. I think early on when we were doing early win totals, we mentioned the Texans as kind of flaring,
Possibly fraudulent.
Well, they show up on a lot of your regression indicators. They show up on a lot of categories of reasons why you might look to at least investigate further why you might want to go against this team. 6-10 though, we might have to. You can maybe tease that lock. Maybe it's coming down. I definitely think it makes some of the other division futures more intriguing.
Yeah, because AFC South, they're all pretty even, so you kind of just have to pick at least one team to be shitty. You know what's shitty, though? I'll tell you what's shitty, Ryan. Having to manage your office football pool site without Play Balto. That was always a bummer. Being the guy, you gotta have a spreadsheet to keep track of the numbers, and hey, did he pay me or not? Jesus, I don't remember. That's why Play Balto came around. They're a site specifically designed for office football pool hosting. If you're listening to this podcast, there's a really good chance you're the guy in charge of your office pools. March Madness, but really, now's the time. NFL Pick'em, Against the Spread, Survivor pools. Whatever you want, Play Balto has got you covered. 30-plus different ways you can customize your leagues. The entire management process, set of hours, setting it up, getting people ready to go. You're talking minutes. You can get started on Play Balto in 60 seconds or less. If you're running a football pool this season, make your life easy and do it on Play Balto. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com, click the Play Balto link, sign up today, and just get your league going. Get a head start. We're mid-August. This is when your brain is consumed by football. Get a head start. Get it going. Sign up today. Support the podcast and support the good folks over at Play Balto. It's a small business. They're new on the scene. So, yeah, give them a shot, and you won't regret it. Play Balto.
Who calls it the scene anymore, Sean?
The scene, man. The scene. Kramer, we are going to move on to my...
Used to be your boy toy.
Yeah. I still like Andrew Luck.
He's still in the spank bank, right?
See him on the inside of my eyelids every once in a while.
Oh.
Colts, much like the Texans, you could see a possible late trade from the Colts between now and...
You think so?
Well,
your sources close to the situation are telling
I got some sources. They have a lot of depth. I'm going to start on the defense. Darius Leonard. He is a bad man. Yep. Mama, where goes that man?
There goes that man.
Mama, there goes that man.
2 rookies last year that were grown-ass men.
And Quentin Nelson.
Yep.
They finally brought in a real GM, and what did he do? He immediately shored up the offense and the defense with 2 Rookie of the Year candidates. Darius Leonard won for Rookie of the Year, defensive side of the ball. You could make a case for Quentin Nelson. Their defense is really strong right now. Malik Hooker, very strong in the defensive backfield. Frank Reich, just a goddamn good coach. I think the Colts lucked out by not getting Josh McDaniels. I really do. Yeah. I think that was kind of the best thing that ever happened to them. Frank Reich came in kind of like with a chip on his shoulder, like essentially a fat girl at the prom, just happy to be there, having to kind of work a little extra hard, prove himself, prove that he's worth it to be in the coaching bedroom, as it were. T.Y. Hilton, they're saying this guy having the best camp of his life.
Saw that.
You look at the yards per attempt with Luck when T.Y. is there and when he's not. Huge difference. Costanzo, left tackle for the Indianapolis Colts. I didn't even remember this, but he missed some games early, and that probably didn't help Andrew Luck. They got off to a notoriously slow start. Your left tackle being banged up doesn't help. I actually hung out with his brother at a bar, and he was giving me the inside scoop. And, he was really excited for the team. They're all on board. If you look at this team, there's no position group that you can say is really weak. Running back, defensive line may be average, but certainly not below average. They're just a well-rounded team. You go to the tight ends, Ebron, crazy touchdown production. That's the only thing you could really criticize the guy for. So maybe his touchdowns regress and not as strong in fantasy, but still a damn good tight end that Luck seems to enjoy throwing to. Jack Doyle, also, he's coming back, legit red zone threat. They were the best team in 2018 at converting third downs. And you think like they kind of had this really pulled the season out of nowhere, and you would look for them instinctually, oh, they're going to regress. But in fact, they were the third most injured team in 2019. So maybe not. Maybe their injury luck has turned the corner. However,
they had the easiest schedule according to DVOA last year.
We already got the red flag. Andrew Luck, his calf. It's already an issue. They said he's not going to play.
This is weird, right? Like, seriously.
I meant to play this.
This motherfucker's just trying to work every other year. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah,
I'm getting worried right now.
I wasn't initially worried because I saw the thing and I was talking to Costanzo's brother. I'm like, I just saw the calf thing. What do you think about that? He's like, it's no big deal.
I think it's real.
And then now it's real because when I was starting to do the prep for this division, I didn't really know how real the Andrew Luck calf injury was. And then I went, and this to me was a huge red flag.
Oh, boy. 3
separate MRIs from 3 separate doctors on one man's calf.
Yeah.
Why do you go to the third guy?
Why
are you going to the third doctor for the MRI? It's because the first 2 didn't tell you what you wanted to hear.
That's right.
You don't get 3 MRIs that are all amazing. If you went to the first MRI and they said like, "Hey, it's probably okay," this guy would be out there. Although maybe Andrew Luck is secret pussy. I don't want to deal with that reality that possibly the guy's a pussy, but
I just want to know what's wrong with his calf. How bad could it be?
Yeah, it's just a calf.
And they're being shady about it again.
And
no, he'll totally be ready for week 1.
Was that you, Kramer, who said that Kevin Durant had the same line? It's just a calf. I'll be fine.
I mean, is that what this is? Are they overreacting? Are they overreacting to the fact that Kevin Durant blew out his Achilles in a different sport under what most likely different circumstance and just saying, fuck it, we'll wait till the regular season?
I almost don't want to.
I'll let you play into shape because guess what? He played into shape last year, and that resulted in that resulted in the first 6 weeks passing DVOA -1%, overall offensive DVOA of -11%. I don't look. The division is definitely up for grabs. It makes sense why they're the favorite. I own a number of shares. I own a number of shares of Andrew Luck in Best Ball.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and when we did our quarterback preview, I believe I had him as my number 1 quarterback.
Right, and their win total set at 9.5, but there's a lot of juice on the over. Over -150, under +120. Division -160 for this Colts team to win the division. +500 to win the conference. Only +1,200 to win the Super Bowl.
Here's my problem. And I know you were touching on pussy earlier.
Yeah.
Being a pussy. I think he's got a pussy. I think he's got a pussy right on that calf. I don't know what kind of injury you have to the calf that results in you not practicing ever.
It's very weird, very suspicious.
I was fully prepared to come in here.
Yeah.
They're going 12-4. They're walking to the playoffs. This is their year. They're going to have the defense to match that offense.
Everything, I just laid out that case. Every position group is either solid or very strong, and you have a good coach. You have a quarterback with a proven track record of winning. You bring in veteran additions, Spencer Ware, Devin Funchess, Justin Houston. I didn't even hit on that. Rock Ya-Sin, cornerback.
Temple,
he's supposed
baby.
to be Temple strong. He's supposed to be pretty good. Ben Badugo, Paris Campbell, Bobby Okereke. I don't know how you pronounce that, but they got some solid draft picks. They lost Dontrell Inman, Ryan Grant, guard Matt Slauson, safety Mike Mitchell. no one you're like so worried about. Everything is so exciting about this Colts team except Andrew Luck. How can we pick this, Ryan? Can we just pass? No, we can't because it's a sports gambling podcast. Passing's for pussies. Let's get to the schedule.
Unless you got the blunt, then it's cool.
Then it's just
then you're
it's just
doing
good
then
manners.
you're doing your job, And we like people who do their job, Sean. At the Chargers, at Tennessee, Atlanta at home, Oakland at home. Boy, Atlanta.
I'll go 2-2.
Atlanta is awfully intriguing. All these extra road turf spots that they're going to get.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to snake a couple of them.
Yeah.
I think. Are we assuming Luck's playing? We have to, right?
I'm assuming he's not going to be good those first 2 road games. I'm going 2-2.
Okay.
And you could make the case.
You're right.
Case they lose to the Falcons, and I wouldn't be upset.
See, this is my problem with him playing into shape. If he's not that hurt, and they're just being overly paranoid, it's not a good. This first 5 games before the bye week, you're not in trouble if you're 2-3, but it'd be really nice to grab one of those road games. But anyway, first 4, I'm with you. I'll go 2-2. Next 4 at Kansas City, bye week. Houston, Denver, at Pittsburgh. See, I think they lose that Kansas City game. They come out, they capture a couple home wins, and they go on the road and probably get thumped by Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. That's the game I would circle as if Luck is back and he's played his way into shape. That's the potential for a game where he shows out against Big Ben.
Yeah, I'll go 2-2 there.
But I'm with you. I'm going to stay 2-2 as well. Miami, Jacksonville at Houston on Thursday night. Tennessee at home. See, I think this is where they start heating up.
I'm going 3-1.
I'm going to say they go 4-0 in this stretch.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God!
I mean, beating Bill O'Brien on a Thursday night is not a grand accomplishment, right? Again, we're checkers, man. Checkers. At Tampa, at New Orleans on Monday night. Carolina at Jacksonville. Not the easiest end to the season, Sean.
No, that's tough. I'll go 2-2.
I'll go 2-2 as well.
So what do I got them going?
You got them going 9-7. I got them going 10-6.
Ooh. All right. So I'll stay with my under, but this to me is kind of a conditional under because I do think.
Are you really going to bet it? Can you possibly bet this until you know what's going on with Andrew?
No,
Luck?
I'm sitting this out until I see him in the preseason or at least get some really good reports because I think the difference between them being 9-7 and 12-4, 11-5, which I think they would be if he was fully healthy. The thing that'll probably happen is like what happened last year where he started out and was playing but not 100%. So I think that's a very real scenario here for the Colts.
So I guess I would probably make the argument that if you think if he is going to be healthy and he starts practicing, if he gets a week of training camp maybe, or at least a couple snaps in a preseason game, I'm thinking I might bump that up a win.
Yeah.
I might start advising my clients to take the over. More likely I would probably advise the division, but again, as long as this cat if there's still a chance to me he can miss the entire season.
I know. How is that not in play?
You start there. So if I know, look, there was
under plus juice right now is my play.
There was a completely unassuming report a couple weeks back that the GM, Chris something or other,
Ballard,
was unwilling to trade Jacoby Brissett. He was too valuable as a backup.
Yeah, well,
interesting.
I mean, that's just.
Did he know?
Well, that
did he know Andrew Luck just doesn't work in odd years? Is that just the thing going forward? All right, Sean.
He's like the San Francisco Giants. Kramer, got a new sponsor on here. You heard him in the pre-roll, and that is CBS Sports HQ. That's right. They're sponsoring this podcast. I think we're all aware sports TV nowadays is full of made-up drama, beating the same topics into the ground, hot takes, people who don't even know what they're talking about. CBS Sports HQ, they're here to change that. CBS Sports HQ is a network that streams live 24/7. They got in-depth coverage that's focused on the game, bringing the latest news, highlights, previews, and reactions to all the on-the-field action. Fantasy sports experts, they got them. They'll give you all the info you need to make the right calls for your lineup, and their betting experts will help you cash in on your wagers. But get this right. No fake debates at CBS Sports HQ. No politics. So you won't hear any Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy theories over at CBS Sports HQ. No one going all in on Trump.
I'm going all in on Trump.
Like our boy Justin Decker. It's pretty simple over there. They got just sports for real sports fans. The best news of all, it's free. And you know what they say, Ryan? If it's free, it's for me. And they're not talking like a free week and then, they got your credit card on file and they're going to bill you every month. Totally, completely free for everyone. Doesn't matter. Don't even need a login. How nice is that? That's always a pain in the ass. Setting up the login. CBS Sports HQ. Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV. Couldn't be easier. Download the CBS Sports app today and watch CBS Sports HQ. Now we're moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Key additions: Nick Foles, Chris Conley, Jeff Swaim, Cedric Agabue, Najee Good, Jake Ryan, Ramik Wilson, who they draft. Oh, Josh Allen. Jawan Taylor, offensive tackle, tight end Josh Oliver, linebacker Quincy Williams, running back Raquel Armstead. Losses: Blake Bortles. Oh, huge loss. TJ Yeldon, Carlos Hyde, Dante Moncrief, Austin Severus Jenkins, Jeremy Parnell, Malik Jackson. That could hurt. Tashawn Gibson and Kai Forbath, their kicker. Jags win total set at a very reasonable 8, plus 110 on the over, minus 140 on the under, plus 525 for the division, plus 3,000 for the conference, plus 5,000 for the Super Bowl. The case to be made for the Jacksonville Jaguars is a simple one, and it starts with Big Dick Nick. Not only did they bring in Big Dick Nick, they also have DeFilippo, the quarterback coach, formerly
fired by the Vikings.
Well, no, he was the QB coach for the Eagles when they won their Super Bowl. He was fired by Mike Zimmer for not running the ball enough in Minnesota, which, if you listen to Warren Sharp, running the ball constantly on first down, horrible strategy, a strategy that a guy with an eye patch would think of, a strategy a defensive coordinator would love. He knows Nick Foles. He knows how to get the most out of his dick. And like I said with Calais Campbell, he already dubbed him the natural leader. What else is going on? A big reason for Jacksonville, their regression from 2017, a team that was beating the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, to a 2008 team that bottomed out and went 5-11.
Bortles was their quarterback.
Bortles was the quarterback. He's no longer. They had a huge drop-off in sacks, going from 55 in 2017 to 37 in 2018.
The defense quit. The defense quit on the offense.
Yeah.
And that's the difference with Big Dick Nick. Also, to pile on your regression angle, the injuries. They had the second most adjusted games lost to injury on offense ever in the football, since the Football Outsiders have been tracking it. So that
my God!
Another good regression indicator, Ryan, turnover margin. They went from plus 10 to minus 12. That's a gigantic swing between 2 years. Feels like they'll probably end up somewhere in the middle. Nick Foles doesn't turn the ball over a ton. They
But
lost.
don't you love that angle of him just motivating the defense more?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
he's got a
we
huge
saw
dong.
we saw that clip from training camp where they said to Blake Bortles, like, "Hey, can you keep it in bounds?" And when you're paying a guy, I think when they gave him that 5th-year extension, that pissed some guys off on the defense.
Now, granted, we've seen Nick Foles look like hot garbage in the regular season.
He's looked really bad at times.
In meaningless spots. I do think having the familiarity from the offensive coordinator will help. And I think just having, in a weird way, like I know the offensive line had some issues, but they lost a lot. They had a lot of injuries. They have talent. They have have enough talent on offense.
So here's where I'm seeing. On the defensive side of the ball, Josh Allen, legit playmaker. I as a fan of the Eagles, I was glad he didn't end up at the Giants where they could have got him and Daniel Jones at 6 and 13. I'm glad they
17.
didn't.
He would have been gone before 17.
No, Daniel Jones would not. But Josh Allen, that is a guy that's gonna get you some sacks and gonna get you some pressures up there. Jalen Ramsey, could you say he's in the mix there? The discussion, best cornerback in the league. That's a fun guy to have.
He needs to show up, right? He kind of fell off last year.
He has some moments, but he's still up there. He's still pretty strong. The thing that would scare me away from Foles having this magical season and taking them on a sweet run, which I think is a fun thing to bet, and I'm kind of leaning that way. The argument against it is, first off, Foles, he doesn't have that big body receiver like Alshon Jeffrey. And if you're a guy that watched every Nick Foles throw, the good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome, a guy like Alshon Jeffrey was huge. A big possession receiver that he could run the RPO stuff off of, and didn't matter. He just had to get it close. Alshon Jeffrey. They always talked about how Nick Foles says he's a basketball player at heart. There's just something to that game where a guy like Alshon really helps him.
He definitely liked throwing to the tight end. In fantasy, we talked about it. Jeff Swaim, interesting pick later if you're in 2 tight end leagues or you're playing in a deeper league, a la the FFPC. Jeff Swaim is an interesting pick because he targets the tight end. He targets the slot also. A lot of reason why people like
the slot. How's the slot?
D.D. Westbrook. I think this is another typical AFC South high variance team. I think they're gonna show up for a couple games. They're gonna win some games they shouldn't. I definitely think they're gonna be playing hard.
And
they got that chip.
And what scares me as a guy who's probably going to back them here in this division.
God hates them, right?
No. Oh, God forgave them when they gave him St. Nick. That offensive line is not the same. And I've seen Nick Foles 1.0 and Nick Foles 2.0, and the biggest difference is that offensive line. Yeah. Like that's Nick Foles.
Taylor's there.
Nick Foles was huge, came up huge. There's a reason there's a statue outside of Lincoln Financial Field. But that offensive line really carried the team. So I don't know if they had that same kind of offensive line. But let's walk through the schedule round.
All right, Sean. I have a feeling this might be another hot take, but I'm starting to tickle myself that maybe I'll have some action on them for week 1 as a home dog. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
I already like I normally would be all over the situation. Jags at home in September. What's scary about that
they're
is
playing the Chiefs.
The Chiefs. And Andy Reid's great on opening day. Yeah. He's got all that time to prepare.
Kansas City at Houston, Tennessee on Thursday night, at Denver. It's a tricky start. It's a tricky start, but I think we said there's potential for them. I'm going to go 2-2 here, I guess.
I'm going to go 2-2 as well.
But don't be surprised if this is one of those teams they're talking about if they start 3-1 here.
Yep.
Right?
Could see that.
I could see that too. At Carolina, I just agreed with you agreeing with me. That was at Carolina, New Orleans, at Cincinnati, New York Jets. Ooh.
3-1. Book it. Saints on that long grass, Ryan. What do we say about that? Bengals.
No, I told you.
They're a little better than we think. Jets at home.
Listen, someone's got to win some games in this division. I know.
think it just might be the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What are we doing? First the Bucks, now the Jags. Houston on their home away from home in London. Bye week at Indy, at Tennessee, Tampa Bay at home. I'm gonna give them a 2-2 here.
Yeah, I'm giving them 2-2, but that's kind of quietly a tough little run there.
Chargers at Raiders, which at that point the dumpster could be burned down all the way to the ground. At Falcons, Indy, at home. I want to say 1-3 here, but I'm gonna go 2-2. I'm gonna.
I'll throw them a 3-1.
I want to be. You're gonna go 3-1.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but
Sean, you just had the Jacksonville Jaguars going 10-6.
yeah, that seems very reasonable.
I'm going 9-7. So we've gone through 3 teams at this point. 2 of them I have finishing above 500, and neither of which is the Houston Texans.
I
got to be honest.
10 wins out of this Jags team. What's not reasonable about that? And
my train is going off the track, Sean.
You could do worse than a 50-1 ticket on the Jags.
But can I be real? Let's real talk for a second, Sean.
Yeah.
Why are they 5.25 to 1 to win the division?
That's what I don't understand. And I don't want to tip my hand, but
I know it's a lot of regression, but I mean,
525 to win the division. It seems like these, especially with this Andrew Luck health concern. I get
right?
it. I mean, I have the same thing. I have the Colts favored normally if they're completely healthy, but not at a -160 to a 525. And I guess to me, the Texans, and now we'll get to the Titans. I just don't. The Titans and me are not in the mix, but let's walk through it anyway.
Yeah.
Titans right now, their win total set at 8, 115 on the over, -145 on the under, +650 to win the division, 4,800 for the conference, 9,000 for the Super Bowl. Veteran adds: Tannehill, Humphreys, Rodgers, Saffold, Brent Urban, Cameron Wake. Who'd they draft? Defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons, receiver A.J. Brown, Nate Davis. Offseason losses: Luke Stocker, Josh Klein, guard Quentin Spain, defensive outside linebacker Derek Morgan, Brian Arakpo, still in the league, Benny Logan, he's out. Nothing crazy for them. Tannehill, bringing in him, to me that is just the sign when things are nearing an end, right? They're in a weird spot where you bring in a new head coach, but you're on the tail end of the quarterback run. I'm just not a Mariota guy. I just don't see it. I really was freaking out when there was a possibility that Chip Kelly was going to trade Fletcher Cox to the Tennessee Titans so they could go up and draft Marcus Mariota. Just felt like a really wrong move there.
Sean, I mean, we were discussing this before the show, but Vrabel, he's on record as saying he would cut his dick off to win a Super Bowl. Listen, Mariota, neither one of those guys are guys that you're putting your dick weight on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Signing
Signing Ryan Tannehill is just a red flag to me in and of itself. And who's their other big acquisition? Adam Humphreys.
He looked good.
But name me a team where, it wasn't until they signed that white receiver that things really took off. And you can be racist against straight white guys, but Adam Humphreys, he looked good first week of preseason.
Yeah, that's important.
He knows how to catch the ball.
Well, of course he does. He's a white guy, Sean.
Ed McCaffrey's not walking through that tunnel. I just don't see him being a deal maker. And then Derrick Henry, he's a guy you play in a best ball league, but he's not a guy that's going to get you to a 10-win season.
It does feel like, though, when you go back and you look at last year, you're like, well, this team won 9 games.
Yeah, but oh man, they also, I think, like the Titans or like the Texans, the Titans pulled some serious games out of their ass. Like that win against the Eagles. Granted, I'm biased, but they set a record for 3 fourth-down conversions in overtime. And if that 4th and 17 throw where Corey Graham just stops going backwards, if he goes backwards, that game's they're 8-8.
The Titans
And they've been 9-7 3 seasons in a row. When was the last time the Titans won 10 games, Ryan? I'll give you a
Jeff
hint.
Fisher was probably
Sam
the
Bradford is not a fucking franchise quarterback.
2008.
Was Jeff Fisher the head coach?
Yeah. That was his coup de grace. 13-3 season where they lost the division round playoffs.
What is our buddy Jeff Fisher up to?
He is a fun follow on Twitter. He just posts he helps his family out with their real estate business. He hangs out with his dogs. He's really living an awesome life. And honestly, everything I make fun of Jeff Fisher for is just, I wish I had that life. So
I'm on board.
I just don't see it for me. The Titans to me are the odd man out. The Texans, Colts, Jags, you could all make a solid case. But to me, if they offer adjusted win totals? Because I would look at, like, if there was a prop to take the Titans to win 4 games, I would seriously consider it.
I mean, they overperformed last year. They were an 8-win team, according to Pythag. I wouldn't be surprised. I think most people wouldn't be surprised. This team, the defense, like, I know they were below average. I think they were maybe top 20 DVOA. It feels like they're going to take a step back. It feels like whatever support that gave the offense is going to go away. Marcus Mariota,
let's lay this
hard
out.
to see him staying healthy.
Let's lay this out, though. You're a fan of like borderline NFL team, but you're an NFL fan. You have the Titans on your schedule coming up on Sunday. Are you worried? Like, who are you worried? Like, oh, we got to shut him down, or we can't let this guy get to our quarterback. We can't let this guy pick us off, or this big special teams play, or this awesome coach. Like,
play the game where you look at the division and you have to cross off one team at a time. The first team you're crossing, at least if I'm playing this exercise with this division, again, I have the Texans going 6-10. I think it's a high variance team. The team, I think most, 90 seasons out of 100, they're finishing last place in this division. That's the Titans. So I think we should walk through the schedule because, look, the coach said he would cut off his dick.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
That's not a guy who's confident, right?
Sean, what did John
Doug Peterson doesn't say he's going to cut off his dick. He knows he can get there by just rallying the guys around, eating some ice cream, hanging out.
You want to cut off your dick. Cut off your dick like a man. Yeah, let's go through the schedule, Sean.
Let's do it.
At Cleveland, Indy, at home, at Jacksonville on Thursday night, at Atlanta. Here's the problem with this schedule. The season's already over. They could be 0-4. I know we kind of both had the Colts losing that game, maybe a little rust.
I'll say 1-3.
What if this team very easily could be 0-4 here? And that's that, right? Like, have they gone to Ryan Tannehill at this point?
Well, they might because
but they
everyone
gives
Wentz shit for being injury prone.
Here we go. We're not even talking about the Eagles. We're not even talking about Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about him.
Just
because we're not talking about it doesn't mean I'm not thinking about him, Ryan.
You know what? I think they win either at Cleveland or Indy. I will go 1-3.
Yeah.
Buffalo at Denver. Chargers at home. Tampa at home. I'm higher on Tampa than most. We haven't gotten to the East, but
Bills Nation.
Teaser alert.
Circles
Teaser alert. You can put the Bills in the same drug cabinet as the Bucks and the Jaguars. Because I may be interested in them this year. At Denver is not an easy spot. I know they got 3 home games here, Sean, but I think they go 1-3.
I'm going 1-3 as well.
Oh my goodness, this is great. At Carolina, Kansas City, bye week, Jacksonville at Indy. Yeah, where are they getting 1-3 again?
So at Carolina,
yeah, I don't know
Kansas City at home.
Where are they winning games?
1-3, yeah. My gut instinct was 4-12, and now that I actually look at the schedule, This makes sense.
At Oakland, Houston.
Good, that's a word.
They'll randomly beat New Orleans or something like that. At Houston. I mean, even I'll be generous. I'll say they go 2-2 here because again, Oakland might not even be playing football at this point.
All right, I'll join you in 2-2.
Oh, so we 5-11.
Oh my God.
I feel good about this. I feel good about my predictions in this division. I know I told you before we started recording that the fucking AFC South's the worst every year, but
well, I got 3 unders, 1 over, but the unders the under on the Colts is kind of on the edge because of luck, and it's close. Texans, the under is close. Titans are way off as far as the under. But my lock.
I think we're gonna have the same lock again, right?
Lock it up. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ooh, is that your? What's the lock? The over?
Yeah.
I like
What's your
that.
lock?
I like that. I would say if I'm playing Jacksonville, it's a divisional play. I would definitely recommend you take a snack at that 5 1/4.
Oh,
That's
so
ridiculous.
you're gonna take the
But for my lock, for my win total, I mean
the under on the Titans. All right, I'll let you have
I
it.
know. I mean either the under on the Titans or the under on the juice is similar between the Texans and the Titans. I could see a world. I could see a lot more
Titans. How are the Texans and Titans only a half game difference?
I could see a world
How?
where Deshaun Watson is magical again.
Yeah.
and they win 9-10 games.
You could make.
Fuck
Okay,
you. Fuck you. If to lose, the Titans need to win 9 games.
Here's a thought experiment:
Again.
get the Texans to 9 game, or get the Titans to 9 games. What's harder?
Yeah.
That's very easy. So yeah, and then long shot. I mean, yeah, give me the Jags for the division as well.
Okay.
I like that. I mean, at 525, again, I probably think that what's going to happen is the Colts will win it, but I'm not laying minus 160 for them to win the division or minus 150 on the over 9.5. There's just not value. Really, I think what could happen is if he starts out slow again, that's when you come in and let the Colts go 0-2.
2 road games. That's when you buy your Colts futures.
Yeah, his first they start out on the road, those first 2 road games. So after those 2 road games, then look for the future.
They're the first 2 games of the season, I feel like more than any other 2-game chunk in the NFL season impacts the odds because everyone sees that goddamn, well, if you go 0-2, the chances you make the playoffs are blah. It's still just 2 games. They're just 2. Worst case, they're 2 games back, right? They're 2 road games. They're 2 games they may even be underdogs.
And the AFC South is always clumped together.
So I think to Sean's point, very very wise maneuver.
Yeah, wait till they go 0-2, but bet Jacksonville right now at plus 525 because that's not going to get. I don't think whatever happens to that game against Kansas City is going to swing it one way.
And I'll throw out another kind of angle if you want to play. The Texans do not make the playoffs. Minus 165 on that. Texas make playoffs. No, minus 165. That would be the other angle I would throw out there because
what are Titans not to make playoffs?
Minus 350 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but see again, that kind of just highlights
the prices don't make sense, honestly.
But
Texans are a big name. That's
well,
what
right.
it is.
But no, but even what you're pointing out there, the not make playoffs versus make playoffs, their win total difference is only a half a game, but there's a huge price discrepancy in the make playoff, not make playoffs. So that to me, that just shows you how shitty the Tennessee Titans are. Way off on the Titans this season. Maybe we'll get some Tennessee fans that are just they're gonna be super pissed off. Kramer, before we go, do we have that? I feel like we didn't play it. Do we have that Kirk Cousins audio?
We do.
Okay.
Should we tease the NFC North that's coming soon?
Yeah, we'll probably be doing an NFC North podcast soon. But this is Kirk Cousins from a preseason game. And again,
yards passing. Boy, high pitched and a flag. Did his voice crack?
One more time.
Yards passing. Boy, high pitched and a flag. Did his voice crack?
You just listened to Kirk Cousins experience puberty.
Where was the mic? That's what I want to know.
You like that?
Mike was
You like that?
The mic was in his ass.
Well,
How do you feel about
Thank you
these
for
predictions,
participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
I feel great.
Sean? I feel like I'm dialed in. I'm in now. I played
In the
myself
zone.
into shape, mid-season form, ready to get into some real divisions.
We are ready to get into some real divisions. Again, come hang. Legacy Stadium, opening night, NFL kickoff. Got some stand-up dates with our boy, the Dantabase. And we got just
Whoa,
a shitload
whoa.
of content.
I just stopped recording.
No.
It was just when the Kirk Cousin things played.
Okay.
Hold on, let me.
Cousins from a preseason game. And again,
Oh.
one more time.
All right, we got to restart from there.
Do we play the Kirk Cousins or no?
Yeah, it's there.
Should we re-intro it or no?
No. I'll just you say one more time, and I'm gonna play it again.
One more time,
Hold
Kirk
on,
Cousins.
no, hold on.
One more time, Kirk Cousins.
Yards passing. Boy, high pitched and a flag. Did his voice crack?
The mic. I mean,
His voice did crack. It's pretty bad if the announcers are laughing at you on national television.
Mike was clearly in his ass.
All right, that'll do it.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Legacy Stadium opening night. Come out to beautiful Las Vegas. Drinks on us. Good times. Hit Colby and I up if you're in the those California cities we dropped. Santa Cruz, San Francisco, Eureka. Good times will be had there. And the Division Preview podcast keep rolling on. Mike Leach bonus episode hitting this weekend. The content train is full, and it is chugging along. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Just a reminder, if you think you were the 500th review on iTunes, please email us, podcast@sportsgamblingpodcast.com, so you can receive your personalized thank you message from yours truly.
Kramer, let it ride.